maybe, just maybe, you started to notice something interesting. Though what once felt like fear is now beginning to feel like anticipation. Because isn't it fascinating how the mind can take an idea, a single thought, and make it feel so real, so vivid, so unchangeable, until suddenly it isn't. Until suddenly you step outside of it and see it for what it is. A thought, a pattern, a possibility, not a certainty. And as you begin to breathe in this realization now, you might find yourself wondering, what if meeting someone didn't have to mean pressure? What if desire didn't have to mean commitment? What if, instead of seeing the unknown as something to fear, you could begin to see it as something playful, something light, something fun? And as you begin to think about that now, a new sensation starts to emerge. A curiosity, a sense of wonder, a feeling of stepping into the world, not to control it, not to predict it, but to play, to explore, to dance with the possibilities, without needing to know where they lead. Because after all, isn't it true, the best moments in life, they happen when you least expect them? The times when you weren't planning, weren't overthinking, weren't trying so hard to make something happen. And isn't it interesting? When you let go of the need to control, everything just starts to flow. And the more you think about that now, the more something inside you begins to shift. Because wasn't it just an illusion that you had to protect yourself by shutting down? Wasn't it just a story that you had to suppress yourself to stay safe? And isn't it funny how the very thing you thought was protecting you was actually keeping you trapped? But not anymore, because now you see something new. You see that every moment is a choice, a chance, a possibility. And what if, instead of seeing dating as something that could change your whole life in an overwhelming way, you could start seeing it as an adventure, an experiment, a game you get to play, where the only rule is to enjoy it. Because the more you enjoy yourself, the more magnetic you become, the more you play, the more others are drawn to you. And the more you step into this new way of being, the more natural it feels. Because deep down, this is who you're always meant to be. And isn't that incredible to know? Because it's absolutely fascinating, isn't it? How the mind, it once held on to the idea that meeting someone meant pressure, that interest meant commitment, and desire meant responsibility. But now as you sit here, as you allow these words to move through you in just the right way, you begin to notice something shifting, something opening. Because isn't it true that life is never about control, but about flow? And as you think about that now, really think about that, a new feeling begins to arise. A lightness, a sense of ease, and knowing that every moment it's simply an invitation to play. And isn't it interesting how playfulness changes everything? How curiosity transforms fear? How simply shifting the way you see the world changes the way the world sees you? Because what if, instead of believing that meeting someone could change your whole life in an overwhelming way, you could believe it could enhance it? What if instead of imagining all the ways it could go wrong, you naturally started to expect things to go right? And the more you entertain that now, the more real it becomes. Because after all, when you were a child, did you ever think about where a game was leading? Did you ever ask yourself if play would change your life forever? Or did you simply jump in, explore, follow the fun? And isn't it wonderful to realise that you can do that again? That you can live that way now? That life, love, connection, they're all just an unfolding adventure, where the only rule is to enjoy it. And as that realisation settles into you now, something else happens. A sensation, a deep knowing that all those rules, all those limitations, all those beliefs, the one felt so real, they were never actually yours. They were just things you picked up along the way. Things that no longer serve you. Things that now, in this moment, you're free to let go of. Because as you release them, something else takes their place. A sense of confidence, a deep, unshakable belief that you are already enough. That there's nothing to prove, nothing to chase, only an unfolding experience to enjoy. And as you step into this way of being now, as you feel it settle deep inside you, you begin to realise the best connections happen when you aren't trying to make them happen. That people, they don't remember your words, they remember your energy. That when you show up in the world as your true, playful, authentic self, you naturally attract those who match that energy. And isn't it amazing to know that right now, something inside you has already changed?